Is it recording? Okay, it's recording. All right. So basically, for the purpose of this recording thing, video, this is Gerard. He's a
Hi.
friend of mine, and I'm just gonna interview him about the pandemic and what's happening. So if you just want to describe yourself and stuff like that.
All right. So, my name is Gerard. I'm 21 years old, a junior in college, and I'm currently staying in Northampton, Mass, where I have leased an apartment to go to school out here. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So obviously as a college student, I understand it and you probably understand it. How has your semester and really your life been affected by, school shutting down and what's happening?
Um, as far as the semester goes, it definitely has been really disappointing, and it's been really challenging. Um, it's been really challenging to keep up with schoolwork and stay motivated while just being behind a screen all day. Um, and yeah, I definitely feel like I've lost out on a lot of valuable college experiences that I would have had if this wasn't happening. Um, and just in general, in life, I'm definitely used to it more now than I was before. It was definitely really stressful, and I had a lot of anxiety at first, but I think I've sort of, I don't know, settled down.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, as you're kind of going into your senior year of college, this coming fall and eventually graduating college, are you worried that this is going to kind of prolong and it's going to affect, your further education, or is there any worry for, any goals that you have in life or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I have been worrying about that a lot recently. So yeah, I'm planning on graduating this upcoming fall and applying to grad school. And I'm just worried that, because of this, my grades won't be as good because I've been having some difficulty with online class. And I'm worried that I'm missing out on extracurricular stuff and volunteer stuff I usually would be doing during this time I haven't been able to do. So I'm definitely worried that when it comes time to admissions and stuff like that, I will have less of an edge because of, you know, because of everything going on.
Yeah, so you're kind of worried that realistically you'll be negatively affected in terms of getting into grad school or just kind of pursuing the careers you want.
Yeah, and I'm also worried that it might not be as good of a choice to go to grad school so soon, just with everything going on and the economy, and I don't know. There's a lot up in the air. So
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. So just kind of going over from when, everything first began, realistically, it started mid-March for a lot of college students. That's when schools started shutting down. So when did you become first aware of COVID-19?
um, I became aware of it when actually pretty early, I think. In the beginning of February, I had a friend in from UMass that was talking about it, and she was talking about it in China, and I don't know, I just didn't really seem to think much of it at
Mm-hmm.
that time because it just seemed so far away. And so yeah, just I came aware like
Yeah.
a couple
And
months
so
ago.
since you've become aware, how has the crisis evolved for you, and how has it kind of changed your thinking and your behavior?
um it definitely started slowly, and then it kind of all happened like at once. Like at first I saw it like from way afar in China, and then I heard about it in Italy, and like my friends who were studying abroad were like, oh, we might have to come home, and then it was like everyone was sent home, and then it was like here in the United States really rapidly, and then one thing happened after the other. So there was a lot of like anxiety in like mid-March, especially because everything was like happening, it seemed like. Um, but after being in quarantine for weeks, it just feels normal now. Like it's just a new normal, and like I'm just used to being inside, and um, I never thought I would have so much anxiety to go to a grocery store,
Mhm.
but it's like very anxiety inducing, or
Mhm.
even like walking by someone on the street, like there's always a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, in terms of um like how has like national or local like news kind of impacted your, the anxiety that you were explaining or the feelings that you were having, like in terms of like, President Trump with his, state of emergency when he first called it, or any of his press releases, or maybe Governor Baker, like has any of that impacted you or made you think differently?
um yeah, I think um in general, like the media has been, well, more so in the beginning, it was kind of all over the place. Like some places were saying, some like sources were saying, oh, like it's just kind of like the flu. Like Donald Trump said something along the lines of that. So there was like sources like that saying, oh, it's not that bad. And then there were sources saying like it's really bad. Like, you know, like I don't know. It's difficult to explain for some reason, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um also like the topic of masks, it was like, do we need them or not, or like how should we be using them, or I don't know. It's just like what it's hard, or it was hard to know what to do and what to believe, and if I should even be afraid or not. Like it was just all very conflicting.
Mm-hmm. Well, like even now, do you think about it in terms of like how do you feel about reopening, the state or the country, or, like there's a lot of conflicting views there as well. We have people protesting, and there are also people, that will not come out of their home until midsummer. So like how are you feeling about that?
um well, I definitely think we're gonna need a couple more months of this. Like I don't think that reopening is gonna happen like in May. I could see it happening at the end of June, but I also don't think like we'll be able to have a complete reopening. Like I feel like even after we reopen, like we're still kind of gonna have to do like some sort of like intermittent like
Mm-hmm.
distancing, like so yeah. And I honestly I think that's like the best we can do now with what we've done. um yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what's gonna happen. And
Yeah, it's kind of
um,
very all in the unknown right now. I think
yeah, it's
a
so
lot of people
unknown.
are feeling that way. Like,
Yeah.
um, well, even with that, like, I think that it's important to talk about like how did you feel like when UMass was like, all right, we're gonna take 2 weeks, and then eventually it became all right, we're gonna cancel the rest of the semester. Like, how were you feeling when that was happening?
um I was kind of, I don't know, it was like a funny time. It was almost comical, it seemed like, just the craziness. And it was so hard to believe that all you could do was like laugh And then, but at the same time, super disappointing because it's like, you're in the swing of things by mid-semester, and then it all gets ripped away. And so it was just a really weird feeling of like a delirious feeling almost.
Yeah. I understand that. Um, well, how about your friends and family? Like, how are they being impacted? How are they coping? I know that you're living away from your family right now, so I don't know if that's different for you or.
Um, they are, I think they're just as bored as I am. And just as frustrated. And I think a lot of them have worries about money and work, um, because none of them are working right now.
hmm
So it's definitely brought a lot of stress about bills, how they're going to be paid. And I do have some family members that are like at high risk if they were to get COVID.
hmm
So yeah, it's just been stressful for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had any experience like close to you of someone getting COVID or being having to be tested or anything of the sorts?
Yeah, my mom was tested because she had the symptoms, but
hmm
fortunately she came back negative.
hmm
So, but another strange thing was that in early March she was hospitalized because she was really sick. And she had like all the symptoms, shortness of breath and everything, and she tested negative for the flu. So it might be possible that she had it and got over it, or I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
that could be very possible.
but yeah.
Um, well, what do you think has, kind of wrapping up, like, what do you think has impacted you the most from, COVID-19 and especially the change of environment that we're kind of living in?
Um, what has impacted me the most? I guess just like school, like the change from in person to remote learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's made me have to adjust a lot of my study habits and a lot of just my schedule and everything. So
Mm-hmm. Would you say that that's probably like your biggest challenge right now?
um yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, so are you the person basically in your household that goes grocery shopping? Like, do you go out, not a lot, but do you go out enough to be worried about catching anything or being exposed?
um no, I usually go grocery shopping like once every 2 weeks or like once every week and a half.
Mhm.
um and I have two roommates too who also like pretty much go grocery shopping the same amount.
Mhm.
um so I do worry every time I do go get groceries. I worry, like, am I gonna, like, is this gonna be the time that, I'm gonna maybe like I came into contact with it somehow or touched my face or something. Like, is this gonna be the time when
Mhm.
I get it
Yeah,
or not? So, but I feel pretty safe
that's good.
generally.
That's really good. Yeah. Definitely a weird time and scary at some points. Um, but I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. I know that it's late, we're actually filming this at like 10 o'clock at night, but I appreciate it. So
Yeah,
thank
sure.
you. Yeah,
It's been a
for sure.
pleasure.